former NFL MVP of officiating, joining us from the Combine. Good to talk to you again, Dean. What do you want to chew up first?
Whatever you got. I love that you called me the MVP of officiating. I love that title.
Yes,
love that title.
and you should be. Yeah, the heck with Mike Pereira. It's you,
No,
Dean.
that's right. That's right.
Okay. Help me understand the technology of spotting the football or first down. Like, where are we headed, and when will we get there?
Yeah, so I think short term, what the league is going to do, I think for the regular season in 2025, is the officials will still spot the football, but instead of bringing out the chain gang, they're going to use this optic tracking and these cameras that are positioned around the stadium to tell you exactly where the ball is in relation to the line of gain. So instead of stretching out the chains, you'll have this graphic pop up and it'll say the ball is 6 inches short or the ball made the line to gain. I think that's the short term. Long term, I think we're going to use some of this tracking technology where they'll eventually be able to use that tech to actually spot the football, to say, here's where the ball was when the knee was down or when the runner's progress was stopped. I don't think we're going to be there in the next 2 to 3 years, but I think eventually we may see that at some point.
Well, I think we all love when the chain gang comes out. So
I do.
I
love it.
I think they got this reversed. They should be trying to spot the football. It is so random at times, and it's unscientific. And the chain gang, these are just guys holding the chain. We want them coming out. You stretch out the chain, that's good TV, Dean.
I love it. I agree with you 100%. In that, it's dramatic, right? It's that how you watch the game and is it going to be a first down? And then we've got these guys that run out and this is their moment in the sun. I love the chain gang. But I don't think the technology, like I said, is there yet to spot the football. But, I guess we don't, there's not a lot of chain gang enthusiasts at the league office.
Also, the tush push, it feels like I'm obligated to ask you about this.
Yes.
From an officiating standpoint, what concerns you about this play?
Well, from an officiating standpoint, it's just it's an almost impossible play to officiate as to where the ball is when in relation to the goal line, because you have all these bodies creating this mass and you're trying to figure out where the ball is. You think about the Josh Allen play in the AFC Championship game. You have two officials coming in at two different spots. So I think from an officiating standpoint, it's just a difficult play to discern where the ball is. That's it. I don't think they'll change it. I think with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, I think some clubs will say, well, it's going to feel like sour grapes if we vote it out. But I personally don't love the play, but it is what it is at this point.
Okay, but take me back to 2005 when the NFL said it's okay to push the ball carrier.
Yeah,
why?
And I was there when that rule had been on the books forever. And it was illegal to aid the runner, assist the runner, and push. And the officials just didn't call it. They just didn't. They felt it was difficult. We just didn't see flags. So they felt, okay, if we have a rule in the book that isn't being officiated, let's take it out. Now, it took however many years for this tush push to really gain traction, but it was illegal forever prior to 2006. And I think it would be an easy fix. I think there's a safety element to it. I know the league came out and said there's no injury data on the play, but look at the Super Bowl. I mean, Chris Jones was banged up on the play. You've had several Eagles offensive linemen have said it's a tough play to execute. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'm just not sure why we keep it in.
Well, the Eagles will tell you that their linemen are more susceptible to an injury than the defense is with that play.
Yeah. And that's a concern. That is a real concern. And it's an unfair play too. When you think about the defense, if they stack up the runner at the line of scrimmage and drive him 10 yards back, the offense isn't going to lose those 10 yards, right? You're going to get forward progress and come back to the line of scrimmage, but we allow the offense to push runners down the field and gain that advantage. So I just think it's unfair. Look, the Eagles have done a great job with it, and I wouldn't say we have to take it out just because one team is successful, but I do think there's other elements there.
The kickoff, they seem to be toying with this again.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any modifications to the kickoff rule?
I do think that they'll probably move the touchback to the 35 when you just kick it through the end zone. I do think that the two options for this year will probably move the kicker back 5 yards or move the touchback up 5 yards. And again, I think they were happy with how the play went. You went from 22%, which was an all-time low in terms of returns, to 33%, which was better. I think they wanted to look at the injury data, and the injury data says the play wasn't more dangerous. So I think now they're going to look to increase the number of returns. So probably one of those two things, either the touchback to the 35 or the kicker back to the 30, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Dean Blandino, Fox Sports NFL college football rules analyst and former NFL MVP of officiating. Could you see anything with tweaking field goals? They've gotten so, proficient with this, and the NFL doesn't like predictability. It's like the extra point. That's why they moved it back, because it was predictable. Do you see anything in the future where the NFL would change anything with field goals?
I think there could be. I don't think it's going to happen this off season, but when you look at the evolution of the kickers, it's been incredible. Right now, we're 86% on all field goals, setting records for this year. We had the most field goals per game. I think it was almost 3.5 field goals per game, which was the most ever. The kickers are so good, and from really any distance, we're seeing 60-yarders like they were 30-yarders 20 years ago. So yeah, what could you do? I mean, we experimented. I remember being at the Pro Bowl with the kickers and moving the uprights closer. You could do that. You could do some other things, because these kickers, like you said, the NFL doesn't love predictability. I think they like it when teams go for it. You want to see more touchdowns. So I think that's something in the near future we could see.
Because they're all about, content, like what looks great aesthetically, what looks great. If you had a moment where you went to the 50-yard line and the goalpost all of a sudden moved in and got a little tighter, it's just like we're talking about with the chain gang. We love that. Now, if you do it digitally and you give some drama to that, we love that stuff. I was talking about pylon cam 5 years before they even implemented it. It's like you have the visual aesthetics to always think about. But imagine if the goalpost just went in each 5 yards or 10 yards, it went in X number. Yes, X number of inches in.
Yeah, I mean, these are all like things that you think outside the box that would make it, you would, as you got closer, it became a harder field goal as the uprights came in. You have to figure out the how to do that with the uprights and the goalposts and everything else. We'll see, but I do think that's something the league will look at, because again, these kickers are so good today, and they're not going to get worse. They're only going to get better.
What's the wildest rule suggestion that you ever heard?
The wildest, we've had, thinking about field goals, there, if the kicker can hit an upright, that's worth 4 points, so now, the doink would be a good thing. There's been quite a few of
but you have to make the field goal when you doink it, right?
That could be it. Yeah, you have to actually hit the upright and go in. There's variations of that we can play with. I think the league has done a good job of not getting gimmicky, with some of the rules changes. You want to maintain that integrity and the foundation of the game, but there have been some interesting ones over the years.
Is it up to the official to tailor his shirt the way he wants to?
Yeah, we that happened. We remember Ed Hockley, and he was really the godfather of the schmedium. And so we, the officials get their uniforms. We would provide them with a tailor at our officiating clinic, but then inevitably they would go to their own folks, and maybe the sleeve. I feel good about my off-season arm workouts, and I wanna show it off a little bit.
Have fun there in Indianapolis. Schmoozing, I'm guessing. Is that what?
A lot of schmoozing, but heading home later today, so we'll head home. But it's been a good week here.
Thank you, Dean.
Thanks, Dan.
That's Dean Blandino, Fox Sports NFL college football rules analyst, former VP of officiating.